A question to Sister Lucy Truth. Why focus on this issue? Isn't it so small compared to everything going on in the world and the church today? There are several points of response to this important question. First, we have to look at the political and ecclesiastical consequences of this issue, then the theological implications, and finally, the historical importance of the issue of Fatima. If the hypothesis of two Sister Lucys were true, consider the massive implications for what has been happening in the Church over the course of the 20th century. If the highest members of the Church hierarchy have been complicit in such a cover-up, the ramifications cannot be overstated. Yet we have already seen comparable corruption revealed in the past few decades with all the various scandals emerging from the Vatican. The replacement of Sister Lucy would be one more unraveled thread to the huge tapestry of corruption and radical changes that have occurred within the Church, especially since the 1960s. Theologically, devotion to the Immaculate Heart, devotion to Our Lady is vital in the life of every Catholic. Our Lady came to Fatima to establish devotion to the Immaculate Heart as a remedy for the calamities revealed to the seers, firstly, the vision of hell, and secondly, the wars, persecutions and famines that would occur in the 20th century. But from another theological perspective, the problem of Sister Lucy's identity and the twisting of Fatima cannot but raise these questions. Even conservative, mainstream church theologians and writers take the issue seriously and respond to it. If one studies the history of the 20th century, Fatima is at the heart of it. It touches directly upon the two world wars, the Cold War, and the spread of communism. It predicted the start of World War II if Our Lady was ignored. It coincided with the Bolshevik Revolution, with the final overturning of European Christendom in World War I, and finally, with the revolution within the Church herself beginning with the first working session of Vatican II on October 13, 1962, the anniversary of the Miracle of the Sun. It is a matter of historical fact that Our Lady came to Sister Lucy in 1929 specifically to ask for the consecration of Russia as if this were the most urgent matter. "The moment has come," she said to the seer of Fatima. We know from history what happened in those following years under Stalin's satanic regime and his policy of dekulakization, which killed millions of lives. Sister Lucy, trembling and sad, confirmed to Father Fuentes that 1960 would be a pivotal turning point in the history of the world and the Church, since Our Lady's requests for the consecration of Russia had not been heeded. She was silenced, and Father Fuentes was disavowed. The problems we spoke of earlier, the bizarre change in Sister Lucy, the catastrophic changes in the Church, and all of this tied up with the dilution of Fatima over decades of propaganda and silence by the highest Church authorities. These are problems at the heart of the Church that no observant or zealous Catholic can ignore. We must answer the question, what is the most reasonable explanation for them? The identity of Sister Lucy is emerging as a key to the answer. We are making the small contribution that God has providentially granted us the opportunity to make. Given the severity of the crisis within society and the Church, this issue may seem relatively small, yet it is worth the effort. Few have the opportunity to study theology systematically and defend church doctrine. Few can become professional historians and publish how such dramatic changes could occur within generations. Fewer still can combine these fields with the opportunity to publicize this knowledge. Sister Lucy Truth is the simple and sincere effort of Dr. Peter Chojnowski to promote the true and the good in one small corner of the Church. We will continue to accumulate and post on this site new studies and research concerning this investigation as they are produced and published. All of the names of the relevant experts shall be published along with their professional findings. The truth of the disappearance of the true Sister Lucy and the identity of the imposter who took her place will be placed before an internationally based private investigator who will investigate and solve the case. The fraud has been identified and named. We charge the highest officials in the Vatican with conspiracy to perpetuate and conceal the substitution of Sister Lucy dos Santos of Fatima with an as yet unknown imposter. Please support us by donating at sisterlucytruth.org/donate.